You're listening to The Mean Geek, comics podcasting on the very ragged, raw, leading edge of friggin' civility.
Alright, kids. We've made it. We've made it 30 podcasts, baby.
The big 30. It's only 10 less than your age.
I don't... not just yet, it isn't. Not just yet, it isn't. I can't believe it's 30. We're doing well. We're getting things knocked out.
How long have we been doing this?
Since March 5th. I have that date memorized. And it's on the front page of our website. But anyway, let's get smack into the craziness, huh?
Hey, that's where I live.
Being Ender's Game. Number 1, Command School. Chris Yost, Pasquale Ferri, and Frank Darmata. Whose work I like on Invincible Iron Man along with La Roca. So I read this book and I was reasonably happy with it. I didn't go on to Speaker of the Dead and I didn't go to, Ender's Shadow or anything like that. I felt that Game was quite sufficient for me.
I thought the best one was Ender Finds Love.
Was that on the 18 plus rack?
Come on, it's like an Andy Hardy reference.
I never saw that one.
No, I never read. I've never read anything beyond Ender's Game. Ender's Game, however, is a great novel and is actually taught in some college classes, which tells you a lot about colleges these days.
Yes, well, there's even comic book courses in colleges these days, so figure that one out.
There you go.
Which almost makes me want to go get a degree.
There you go. In comics.
At any rate, wow. Where could we possibly begin with this?
Well, there are two types of comics for this kind of thing. Either you're going to assume that people have read the property or seen the property in the case of movies, or you're going to assume that they don't and dumb it down.
All right,
like you go to the old school Marvel Star Wars comics, like it's basically the retelling of the movie. Ender's Game has chosen the rare but intriguing third choice, where they presume you know the book but tell you anyway, because it's just complex enough that you have to understand the book, and yet just enough it's explained that you feel like you haven't read the book. There's a reason that this is a rare choice,
because it's the confusing lame choice.
Yeah. Also, the whole problem with this book is that it involves tiny children.
With rather tremendous heads.
Yeah, they really do.
And they overdid that just a little bit. And the scale there.
They all kind of look like Chucky.
Yeah, a little bit, man. Now, I like the rendering generally speaking. The art's more than passable until you get to their heads. But this was an incredibly serious book. And I'm not entirely sure that the,
cartoony
Hunter Safety Orange and the general cartooniness, while well done, was actually fitting to this. So
I don't know. I cannot completely write this book off. It's only the first issue. The book is extremely intriguing and opens a lot of interesting questions. So I'm at least curious of what the comic might do.
Yeah.
But I was not hugely impressed with the very first issue. I was not dying to read the next one, and if I hadn't read the book, I was not remotely interested.
Their armor kills me though. I don't know how the frig they can move in that shit. Because you got this huge, bulky chest plate. How do you bend in 0G with that thing on?
My question is, have they done a Starship Troopers comic based on the book yet?
Based strictly on the book? No.
So they've only followed the movie?
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice.
It's a horrifying choice. But they would have to... It would be way too much text. Way too much.
Well, you didn't really enjoy the book, but you did love the movie.
What? No. That's the reverse, baby. The reverse. Actually, in FYE yesterday, I was half tempted to get 2 and Marauder for like $4 each.
Marauder?
Yeah. Well, they were both direct to video.
What's Marauder?
Number 3.
There's a third one?
Marauder.
Stop saying Marauder like it makes Marauder.
Starship Troopers. Marauder.
Starship Troopers. Wow, that just trips off the tongue.
It actually would be kind of hard to say with another 2 beers in there. So
it would be hard to say.
Starship Trooper Marauder.
Marauder. What is that? When the pirate bugs sail the ship into? Really?
No, it was a type of armor. It was the super fast. And
you mean the armor they did away with in the first 2?
Yes, the one they completely skipped over.
Oh, so but suddenly they took the name of one for the third one?
Yes.
Mawada.
Mawada.
No, ridiculous.
Take me to Mawada.
Wow. You sound really similar to Big Mouth Billy Bass. That's horrifying.
And because Marvel is insane, we have to go through 5 issues of Amazing Spider-Man in one shot.
Well, that's mostly because we're lazy and haven't done it before now.
Well, that's too. Now, the fun one with the little sashed Cupid Spider-Man on the cover, which I just found, I don't know. It was, I wanted to say adorable.
It's a cute cover. I actually thought the covers during the whole Black Cat storyline that this kicks off were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Very sexy but in a playful way. It was much like the Black Cat herself. I thought they jumped off, particularly compared to some of the other books out there, in a nice way. For the hornier comic book buyer, such as yourself, I'm sure it popped right out, so to speak.
That's terrible. You're a terrible man. Terrible.
It has been remarked.
So it was. I don't want to go so far as interesting, because it was just reasonable, but Mary Jane's backstory before the wedding was drawn very poorly, I think. I don't like the faces. Although, it's hard to... I want to lambaste it because I didn't find the faces all that great, but then it's also got a Darwin Cook type quality on a couple of these pages, and I'm usually quite happy with him.
I think that's what they were going for, was that style of thing.
But, her boyfriend... her mutant growth hormone for her boyfriend, just fading action actor. She catches him injecting himself in the ass.
Yeah, that was a tad ridiculous.
And who was his dealer?
God, who was it?
His dealer was somebody we haven't seen in quite a while.
Oh, it was a White Rabbit, wasn't it?
Yes. But we actually talked about her a bit back, too.
Yeah.
That was surprising. I did not expect to see the White fucking Rabbit pushing mutant growth hormone.
And it just made me miss the Fabulous Frogman all the more.
Of all the people on the planet, you're the only person that would ever say Miss Frogman all the more.
Can I say? I'm
Miss
still waiting.
Frogman. Ugh,
I wait with bated
insane.
breath for the return of the Frogman.
But I didn't like it. It bored the crap out of me. This whole let's have a fashion show with heroines outfit variations on. I was like, it's like, Pete, turn off your goddamn phone. And then his roommate, she's insane. Why is she still there? She's nuts.
Pete Parker has the worst life ever. If by worst you mean bangs nothing but seriously attractive women and then fails to have relationships with them, constantly...
I no longer have the kind of sympathy for Peter Parker I used to have.
No, you really have to break this down. Like, on one level, you're like, this dude's life blows. And I've said that. I think we said that not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
But if you really break it down, he sleeps with a lot of hot women. He works for the mayor and a major newspaper. He's always broke, so he eats for free and gets home-cooked meals from his aunt
all the time
/ grandmother. He doesn't even do yard work because she's done because he never shows up anyway.
And she
constantly forgives him. And anytime he has a really bad day, he goes out and beats the crap out of a weird dude in a costume.
So really, how bad is this guy's life?
You got to keep it in perspective. You know, if you didn't have the guilt complex of 30 Jewish nuns.
30 Jewish nuns. But let me tell you, and I'll admit it, and I don't give a good goddamn, because I'm never going to meet anybody who's listening to this except for perhaps my boss. Thanks, Julio. Your one download is, it means a lot to us. But this scene where they're going through the online dating. Now, I've never done the video dating thing, and I totally don't plan to, because my main skill is making them laugh and get comfortable before they even have any idea what they're dealing with. But
that's right, the Tech Jedi is still single, ladies.
Yes.
Listen up.
Yeah, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Shut the fuck up. I've read all these profiles like this before. Somebody here, and I think it's Mr. Van Lente, has some experience of his own here.
Maybe they just did research.
Yeah, no, it's not research. Mr. Van Lente is a single Mr. Van Lente. There is no Mrs. Van Lente.
Hey, one never knows.
Unless, of course, there is an ex-Mrs. Van Lente, a former...
Just getting mean.
What?
By the way, did you notice on the cover with the cherubic Spider-Man...
the arrow and the bows are made of webbing?
Not that, although that is funny. The little Goblinita heart.
Where the frig is that? I don't see a Goblinita heart. Where's the Goblinita heart?
No. There's hearts for all the different people, and there's Goblinita.
That's not Goblinita.
Who's that?
That's Michelle
The roommate?
Rodriguez, yeah.
You don't look anything like that anywhere else.
She don't look green. There's no horns.
The Goblinita, pre-Goblinita, looks just like
is
that.
Blonde and white.
Not the way they were drawn. Or go back and research, sir. I stand by my statement.
That's got to be Michelle, man.
Yeah. I don't think so, because she ain't blonde.
Yeah. Well, this girl...
And Harry's on there.
Black Cat.
Nope.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless.
Moving on.
So, yeah. And then we plop right into the Black Cat storyline.
With one of my all-time favorite villains.
Madam Web?
No, what? Screw Madam Web. The master of alchemy himself.
Chemistro?
Wrong.
I'm just trying
Diablo.
I was just trying to pull it out of you.
Who doesn't love Diablo?
I was having a lot of fun with these, especially this big double-page spread of, yes, I'm a pig, okay? Are you ready? Can we move on now?
What double spread? I don't know what you're talking about.
The Black Cat lounging around in her outfit.
You're a creepy man.
That's what I'm all about. And her bad luck powers are frigging him about again. But who puts... Now, really, come on. Think about this and work with me here.
What do you get?
Who puts a corpse in a goddamn safe?
Well, it is harder to find there.
Maybe, but somebody's going to go looking for him and find his ass there.
Diablo is a seriously insane 18th century alchemist / lunatic. And yes, I meant to use insane and lunatic in the same sentence. Alright? When it comes to people who do dumb shit, that guy's at the top of the line. He basically wears a jester's costume with the worst mustache in all of the comics. And that's,
except for maybe the tarantula.
Dude, isn't the tarantula a bug now?
I don't know. Is he? I don't remember that.
Didn't he turn into a giant spider? And now it's
God,
a
I hope
lady
not.
tarantula?
But speaking of dumb things, has Diablo always quoted the molecular structure of things he's throwing at people?
Probably.
I don't remember that.
Well, I mean, not every comic book writer writes everything down while it's happening.
Well, yeah, I suppose there's that. So they catch him kissing Black Cat on the Jumbotron in Times Goddamn Square. And guess who sees it?
Well, pretty much everyone.
Well, aside from everyone. Mary Jane would be and everyone, right?
They're divorced, aren't they? Or broken up, or memory lapse has changed it, or Mephisto.
It was Mephisto.
How many times has their relationship fallen apart now?
Genuine falling aparts or jackassy people with Q's in their names screwing around with continuity.
Wow, I hate that, man.
There's been some interesting things happening under his tutelage of the company, if you want to phrase it that way. But then we have things like Brand New Day, or One More Day, or New Ways to Die, or, well, actually, I heard that one was really good.
No, I hate it. Oh, wait, no, that might have been decent.
I can make a mistake.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Oh, I know.
You've done that.
Once or twice. But no,
You could be like my pop. I thought I made a mistake once, but I was wrong.
No.
You were about to say something?
Oh, that line is... No, I certainly don't have anywhere near the dislike for Quesada you do. But as far as this book, you know what? Black Cat is a nice, refreshing change of pace. But let's be honest, either go with Mary Jane or keep her out of the damn book. Because I am tired of the whiny Peter Parker aspect. And really, all these books, Fighting Diablo, who I love, but I suspect I'm in the minority there, was just second fiddle to more relationship diatribe hog-throb. And
Hog-throb.
Heart-throb with pigs in it. That's what I'm going for.
We could always just go back and buy ourselves some Silver Age romance books from Charlton if we wanted this shit.
It's just...
You know what I'm saying?
It's not what I want to read. And I can't imagine it's what too many people want to read. I mean, they're all excited because Black Cat's hot, to quote your terminology. And, she keeps her zipper in an intriguing place and all that garbage. But I really...
and all that garbage.
I don't read comics for the relationships.
I did find it amusing that they stole a hotel room and then the people who were really renting it came in while he was by himself, stark naked. I got a big chuckle out of that.
No. I'm going too far one way because obviously there are cute things in relationships, and I actually like the Black Cat as a character. Although that's another, Marvel horror.
I don't know.
Didn't she go out with Puma, for God's sake?
Yeah, there was a Puma thing.
Yeah, which is just wrong. That dude's a dick and part animal. Like, come on, really? What we need is El Tigre and Puma to hook up, so we can have little baby Pumigre get his own book.
Pumigre, I gotta feed you more beer because you're not that funny otherwise.
I'm hysterical otherwise, but it takes more time.
Yes, well. And then they finally get into some action, and I'm quite happy with that.
Well, they got into some action in the hotel room, but blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we didn't get to see a whole lot of that because
And
this
thank
stuff doesn't
God.
go on the 18 rack.
And thank God.
You think oh yeah, it would sell.
What?
An 18-plus Spider-Man with Black Cat?
Any 18-plus with popular character. I mean, you're going all the way back to the Tijuana Bibles. You put popular characters doing naughty, pony shit, no matter how badly drawn or written it is, people are going to buy it. Think about Watchmen.
Yes. Everyone remembers that part of Watchmen.
Yeah, the Tijuana Bible. Yeah, that's me.
My grandfather actually had reprints of those.
Ah, sweet. I'm sure those are very popular.
They were with him. I mean, that was a walk down memory lane in a couple ways.
I'm a reverend,
but
right?
when did Diablo become Paste Pot Pete?
What, he got beat up? Always.
Well, no, I mean,
I go
with
back and
gluing
study.
people to the ground. I mean,
Well,
I mean, really now.
Pace Spot Pete is retired. The gluing to the ground thing is new virgin territory for villains now.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's the trapster.
The trapster should be retired as well. Actually, didn't he get blown away by the Scourge?
Half of those guys are back, man. I'm waiting for Turner D. Century to return.
You and your Turner D. Century.
Dude.
You're obsessed with Turner D.
I
Century.
am.
I don't
a villain
understand
in a pork pie hat, a handlebar mustache, obsessed with committing crimes based on 1920s lingo, who tries to escape on one of those giant one giant wheel, one tiny wheel bicycles. I will eat that shit up with a spoon.
I know you will.
It bothers me to this day that I don't have a Turner D. Century comic book.
Now, I'm going to be fanboyish here.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm going to be totally nerdy.
Oh, you love Twilight?
No. That's just dorky. Yeah. Poor Julio got dragged to that. He's just like, it was so poor, I couldn't deal with it.
You got dragged to Twilight or New Moon?
New Moon.
I like the old Moon.
He was like, every time I turned around, somebody was taking off a shirt and some 12-year-old girl was screeching at a frequency I could barely hear. It was so high.
I told you my theory on Twilight. I think that dude basically stole his look from Don Johnson, Miami Vice.
I'm telling you.
The unkempt hair, the half shave. All he needs is
And just so you know, kids, we're watching the chase scene in the last Indiana Jones movie.
Shot in New Haven.
Shot in New Haven, not just barely 20 miles away from where we're sitting right now. Guy across the street, when he does some construction.
What?
The comic shop, alternate universe, is one block from where they're at right now.
Oh shit! I knew a girl was one of the extras in this.
Cool.
Came into the work and confirmed a lot of what I thought about Hollywood.
When they burst through that gate, right there, the neighbor across the street made that gate.
No shit.
Yep. Crazy stuff. Anyway, so yeah, back to being nerdy.
All right, what do you got?
I don't think Pete's got enough webbing in his fucking shooters to do a whole fucking building. I remember when his shooters barely lasted one fight.
Well, a man's sexual prowess.
Okay.
Look, it was too hard not to. And that's what the bishop said to the actress.
Get the fuck out of here, man. You're off. Where's Warhammer?
Fired yet again. No, I fully acknowledge that's ridiculous.
That's a lot of freaking webbing.
But
he doesn't use that much webbing.
He has of late. I mean, think in Avengers, he covered half a damn plane.
Did he?
Yeah, when they were crashing and they found the Skrull body.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, that must have sucked.
There has been a larger theme of that happening lately.
At any rate, here's where things change and I don't like it. Amazing Spider-Man 608.
Oh, yes. The introduction
purposely did not give you the rest of these for this storyline.
Yes, you did. You just took them so we wouldn't
I took them back so we wouldn't have to talk about them.
You made me read them, however.
And I do apologize for that.
The Return of the Clone Saga.
I thought I was 22 again and the world was no longer making sense and I just hated it. And yes, it's totally colored and badly informed my view of this run, but I can't help it. I hated that shit. And seeing a guy in a little red hoodie with a little spider on it, all ripped up with no sleeves, and his dumbass belt and things on his ankles, and pouches. There's more pouches. God, fuck pouches. Fuck the Scarlet Spider. I don't need that shit. Fucking hoodie. It's not a costume.
I gotta be honest. I hated the Clone Saga. I don't like Ben Reilly. I don't like Kane.
I blocked out so many memories of those storylines. I don't even remember where Kane fits. I just know I hated him.
Yeah. No. I will say this, though. I'm going to disagree with you slightly. I think there's a certain admiration to be had, and I don't think this worked overly well, so in at least trying to incorporate the fuck-ups into... No, seriously. Think about how many things have happened in books.
I'm listening.
You know, what if... who's writing Cap right now? Well, there is no Cap right now.
Brubaker.
Say Brubaker. Referenced Capwolf. Like, everybody wants to talk about, the key period. This is what Mark Waid did.
I mean,
this is the Cap from the 40s.
If the reference was, I'll never have as crazy an experience as when I was turned into a wolf, and they called it even.
But even
I would giggle at that.
But think about, right now you have Cap reliving, the different parts in his life as he's floating through time, correct?
Yes. If that showed up on one panel,
I would
be giggle
impressed.
a bit.
But what I'm saying is people want to block out the storylines that they don't love. And first off, as much as I detest Capwolf, it's Mark Grunwald. Anybody who says a bad word about him gets a fucking bottle upside the head. So. I don't like the Clone Saga. I have never liked the Clone Saga, and I did not think this worked, but I do have a certain respect that they tried to salvage a long period of history and incorporate.
That I can see.
However,
I'm with you on
that. This still sucked. But here's this. The very book after the Clone Saga, Spider-Man versus Deadpool. How big a fan were you of that?
I giggled quite extensively at this.
Interesting, because you kind of dislike Deadpool in most things.
No, I like him in small doses. The never-ending, constant banter. You got two extremes. You got Spider-Man himself, who banters while he's fighting. And
that's not fair. And anytime he's in the costume, he banters.
All right. When he's in persona, he banters. And most of the time it's amusing. But occasionally it's like, okay, you're in a serious situation. Why don't you get serious for just a minute? To give me 3 panels of serious. Deadpool can't have an opening page without him trying. And they're gonna run out of jokes for that. And I don't want to be at the end of that caboose.
But, see, you're missing the point. And I'm not trying to pick on you because it's a weird point, but think about what you're saying. Spider-Man banters when he's in costume.
Yeah.
Deadpool
is never out of costume.
So he's always... It's an extrapolation. So I think when you look at it from that angle, there's a psychological element to Deadpool. And let's face it, he's a Liefeld-created, basically retarded character.
Basically retarded.
He's an overly chatty mercenary. But so many people have done things with, what Joe Kelly wrote about him, the 2 different series. There's been a lot of improvement. The incredibly drawn Joe Madureira miniseries back in the day.
Yeah.
When he fought, Comcast and the rest of the cable company.
Oh, no. Did you really? You really just said that?
He fought Comcast, dude. That's not my fault.
And the rest of the cable company. Oh my God.
That was
There's our episode title.
You're like they didn't call him the electric company.
Well, at least Spidey would fit in there.
There you go. No, there is. I think it's a clever pairing, and I think it's clever that it was short.
Yes, that's the crucial part there.
However, to me, the best part of this book was the cover.
No.
With Spidey and the Liefeld.
No, that was amusing. I dug that. You can see him looking down like, what the fuck is going on here? But the most amusing thing was Lady Stiltman.
No.
Yes.
No.
I laughed my ass off that there would be a groupie for Stiltman that would go so far as to get their own Stiltman costume and not even call herself Lady Stilt or Stilt Lady or Stilt Girl,
Stilt Woman,
Stilt Female. Lady Stilt Man.
Haven't we gotten to the point where it should be Stilt Person?
You might have thought of that too. That.
Nope.
But no, Lady Stilt Man. I fell out of my goddamn seat laughing at that.
I think Stilt Man is an icon, and I don't want anybody poaching. You know, and I'm tired of. I think Spider-Man keeps doing this, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
Lady Dr. Octopus.
Yeah, I don't
Lady, who was it? Oh, no, it's still going on. Scorpion.
Yeah.
And now Lady Stiltman.
And Goblinita.
And Goblinita. It kind of, you know, when
just in case you missed,
a,
just in case you kids missed 15 episodes ago, Goblinita is Menace. So,
if really, you know, if you listen to the show, you probably know her better by Goblinita than you do Menace. But let's be honest here. And wasn't there a Kraven's widow fighting Spider-Man at one point too? Or
yes,
yeah. So, kind, you know, come on, Spider-Man. You know, so, well, there was also, of course, Kravenoff's son.
Yeah.
Responsible for the ever popular miniseries Get Kraven.
Kraven.
Ugh. I don't have anything better than that. I just want to say that again, kids. Some things don't warrant funny comments. Sometimes it's just sigh, move on.
Yeah, there's pretty much. And then they have a Yo Mama fight.
That was kind of funny. I did like how at the end Deadpool pulled the Yo Mama and the kid challenging him and actually made him cry. But it was ridiculous. Didn't this book kind of read like a what the?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, you know, didn't quite work. And then they have a serious undertone, like, oh, we hired Deadpool to distract you, so that the whole Madam Web weird cast of unknown could go on around. This book did not fully work for me.
They could have kept themselves quiet without digging Deadpool into it.
I think, you know, I do like the pairing though, and I think a one shot or something at a different point. But to use Deadpool to further a serious storyline with a ridiculous one is just not good writing to me.
Well, it was a nice palate cleanser anyway.
Moving on to
the soon-to-be defunct in my eyes Ultimate Spider-Man 3 and 4.
This is still Bendis, right?
Yes, it's still Bendis.
Because it doesn't entirely feel like Bendis.
No, it sure don't. You got conspiracy theories with somebody who is manipulating the rest of the kids into doing ostensibly good things, which is about to turn really horribly bad things. A la God knows how many stories.
Nah. I like how you fixate on different things.
What?
I fixate on what not lets two different kids move into her house.
Yeah, well...
Oh, Johnny Storm's dad died. You can move in.
May's boarding... He's got a sister.
Gwen Stacy's dad died. You can move in. Peter, don't bang the incredibly hot chick that I just let move in. Peter, don't hang out with the wild pain-in-the-ass kid that I just let move in. Really?
It's all too true.
My mom didn't want visitors after 8. Okay? Come on. Really? There were just random people moving in left and right? Ridiculousness.
And I understand. I do. I totally understand. Manga is everything these days. Anime is bigger than it ever was, except maybe in Tokyo itself. I
Really?
get that. Yeah, manga is fucking huge.
Okay.
Anime is up the goddamn wall. It's tremendous. But I don't want my Spider-Man looking like he came from Kyoto.
I think that's just you really enjoyed Bagley's run. I mean, I'm not saying you love this art, but what I am saying is that you really enjoyed the Bendis Bagley run.
No, the art itself is fine, just not for my Spider-Man.
Well, you're hardly a Spider-Man enthusiast overall. You enjoy it, but I mean, if this art were in Batman, I could see you saying that. I think I do believe, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe the fact that this book has changed so dramatically from the book you were seriously enjoying. Like those Ultimate Spider-Man graphics I picked up were one of the better reads of last year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Shockingly enough, because we hadn't paid any real attention to that book.
Not a lick, really.
Yeah, because here's the thing, kiddies. The first two graphics of Ultimate Spider-Man are well-written children's literature.
Yeah.
And shockingly enough, as a almost 40 bearded fat guy, my limits on children's literature are actually shockingly large if you consider the number of Dr. Seuss books I've read in the last couple of years. But overall, not necessary. So, didn't pay a lot of attention to it. Came across some later graphics at a cheaper price. Now, to be fair, you had bought the Ultimate Secret 6.
Yes.
Which we
that was an excellent place to start.
It was a decent read, but wasn't driving us to jump further into it.
Right.
You're like, okay, well, this is a little better, but whatever. And then I picked up a couple of graphics. We read them. We're like, holy crap, this is one of the better written books out there, period.
Yep.
And as soon as we started doing that, they decided to revamp, because that's the kind of luck we roll with here at the Mean Geek.
Now, I don't know about Mary Jane being turned into a nerd, though.
Well, she's the hot nerd.
No, there are no hot nerds.
Dude.
If there was going to be a hot nerd, I would be one. So clearly, it's not possible.
I really can't even fathom the ways I disagree with that sentence.
If hot nerds were possible.
Oh, fat nerds are possible.
Oh, they're endemic, really.
Dude, that would be the best Left 4 Dead bonus level ever.
The fat nerd level?
The fanboy zombie? The comic convention level?
Oh, man. I'm putting out a challenge right now to anybody who develops Left 4 Dead mods. Give me one of the San Diego Convention Center. I'll give you $100 right now.
Wow, that's so worth the 3 years of work.
It doesn't take 3 years to mod a
Dude,
level.
I can barely turn a computer on.
I'm talking to people that already do this.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I've played several custom mods
No shit,
from
really?
people. And some of them are really decent. And others are like, why'd you even release this? You didn't even put colors on the fucking walls. But it ain't that difficult for people who actually enjoy that shit.
Fair enough. I'll give you... obviously, I have to give you credence. You're the tech Jedi, and I'm a religious man. Alright. Well, no, Ultimate Spider-Man has gone weirder and weirder. It's not balancing high school and action very well for me in the new... But it is a reintroduction of sorts, so I have to give it more credence. So I wouldn't dump it just yet.
I don't...
Like it. If it's spade, call a spade a spade.
It's just too young and trendy for me. I'm not fucking 15 anymore, so
Thank
really wide pants and really floppy hair in front of the face, I just don't give a fuck about anymore. I can't identify here. I can't.
No, but see, the thing that does intrigue me is that Bendis is not young either. So I'm waiting for him to get back to where...
Yeah, but as a workman, if they tell him we want to aim this thing at 15-year-olds, if
He
he's
doesn't
if
write
he's getting
young,
paid,
though.
he'll be happy to do it.
he wrote books that appealed to young kids that weren't young books. And I'm hoping that's where this is going. But so far, the couple issues I've read, I have not enjoyed the way I was enjoying it before the read.
Oh, you know what? I totally screwed that storyline up.
Which one?
That weird conspiracy thing wasn't happening in this.
Yeah, I just
It was
ignore
happening
you.
in Nomad.
Really, you mistook Spider-Man for Nomad.
High school. Kid heroes in high school. I mean, it's all the same.
I take pride in not reading Nomad.
Well, I've only given you two.
You gave me a Nomad?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little girl Nomad. That's
Yeah, it's
I
Ricky
did read
Barnes.
that. Crap, it's an alternative reality
Yes, it is.
Nomad.
Who's come here now? At any rate.
Dude, that sucks like a toilet on an airplane.
Yeah, pretty sure. Now we get a bit more serious, and the shop must have totally skipped over a couple of issues of Unwritten, because I don't remember 6. I remember 5.
This is 7 now?
This is 7.
I definitely feel there's at least a issue missing. I just assumed it was something that you didn't give me. Because last time I saw him, he was avoiding a serial killer, and now he's in prison.
Yes. I remember when he got arrested at the end of that issue, but something else has happened in here somewhere.
Possibly, maybe not. You know, go back and check your dates, because they might be jumping. It is the style book.
Oh, yeah, okay. I can see that. But he's
Plus,
in
really,
prison
you know.
now. He's in a French prison. Isn't that almost worse than like a Chinese prison?
I don't know. I did see...
Cat, you are on my mic. You hear that? That's Floyd purring, kids.
I did see Catch Me If You
Getting
Can.
on the laptop. Come on, Floyd, get out. Take off. Go.
Get off the mic, Mike.
Such is life. At any rate, so he's getting set up in prison now. He's getting set up in prison. He's getting set up in life.
If you go to prison and you're not really strong or really scary, you get set up by somebody to do...
Or set down. Or set upon. You know,
it's probably the best phrasing.
At any rate, how's he going to get out of it, man?
Or what's he going to get out of it?
Oh, evil.
Now,
I want to know more about this literary GPS he's got in his head.
Well, his dad told him all that. Remember?
Yeah, but I want to see where it gets him. And
I need this book to move a little... It's a decent book and I'm enjoying it. I'd like it to move a little bit faster towards some kind of clarity.
Yeah, and I'm not a fan of reading fake web pages in a comic book. I don't like it.
Okay,
I don't like it. It's got nothing. It didn't advance anything. It was just two articles and a bunch of jackasses in the comments, like it was Newsarama or something. And you know what? Fuck the Newsarama commenters. They are crazy.
I don't know what Newsarama is, but hey,
be happy about that.
No, I like the Unwritten a lot. I think there's some creative stuff going on, but it is not... Alright, let me put it to you this way.
Yeah?
Would you rather somebody hand you an issue of this or a graphic novel of this?
I'd be happier with a graphic.
Because it's moving at a pace where it's, you know, it feels like Sandman, but I'm not dying to read the next one.
Right.
I just want more clarity. You know what probably felt like this, and I never read it in issues, and you might disagree because you love this book more than I do, is Why the Last Man.
Oh, yeah.
If I had bought an issue of Why randomly, I wouldn't be like, oh, I need to get the next one. I'd be like, what the fuck? In no way is it bad, but I wouldn't be dying to read the next one, whereas there are books out there where I was.
Yeah.
I would, however, be curious enough.
Ghosts in the middle of prison. And this thing is all over the place. They talk to the girl. She's gotten dropped in the prison. And then the crazy-ass French corrections officer is implying that she was going to use the doorknob as a masturbatory aid. And then they skip over back to the guys.
I am way too naive for comic books these days.
Well, what the hell else could she have meant? A doorknob? Sorry, monsieur, you may have to use your finger like everyone else.
Ick.
What the hell else would that mean?
I would just, if I had a doorknob, I'd throw it in a sock and freaking beat the crap out of anybody trying to rape me.
And then out of absolutely nowhere, a dying crusader blowing a horn's ghost.
Roland.
Yeah. So he can manifest this literary stuff from his head now?
Well,
is that what's going on?
I'm afraid of that, just for the simple reason because I've read Kid Eternity.
Oh.
Yes, you forgot all about that one, didn't you?
Oh.
But it's starting to feel like that, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. But, you know...
And I think it's good enough that it's warranted, you know, several more issues, but if it stays on this path, I don't know that I would continue to endorse the Unwritten.
Yes. I follow you there completely. So, Straczynski has got an incredible, I don't want to call it a hard-on, but he's got a soft spot for weird heroes.
Well, so do I.
Dial H for hero.
All right, that one I do not endorse. Do you remember the original origin of Dial H for Hero?
Origin? No.
Kids drew their own heroes and sent them in, and then they would write books based on that hero.
Really?
So if you created, butt fucking man, they would be like, "We're not using that."
Sodomy boy.
But if they did, then the one of the two children that shared the Dial H for Hero dial would dial in and become butt fucking man, and then run out and solve crime or fight off villainy as butt fucking man. And really, I don't think I can say that anymore.
This was a nice one-off. It was Batman was very smart and very clever in it, like he should be, like usual. But was the guy who owned the dial that lame? Where he would just foist it off on a homeless guy, hoping he'd be the one that died?
I didn't fully enjoy this book. I remember that they'd done a revamp of Dial H for Hero not too long ago, but I hadn't read any of them. So the kid coming to go out, and to be fair, the best thing in this book is the kid talking about being a hero, dialing up the Dial H for Hero, looking out at Gotham like how much crime can there be, and then hiding in his bed.
Yeah.
And at the time, you think it's because Gotham is ridiculous and that's funny. And then you find out later on, it's because whoever used the dial next would die a hero.
But maybe you'll like...
I will say, though, is it in character? And let me ask you this, because I was a little unsure. For Batman to say it's okay to let someone else die because you're a child.
No, I was not happy with that either. I was going to move on to that momentarily.
I thought it was on the cusp of the character. Depending on who's writing him, I could kind of see him leaning either way. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm more...
He's protective, too.
I'm trying to justify it to myself as he doesn't want the kid to go absolutely batshit, so to speak.
Pun intended.
So he doesn't want him to go absolutely bonkers over it. So he's putting the seeds of justification in his head, even though in Batman's own head he's like, better not do that again, I'll put your ass in jail. That's what I'm putting in my own skull.
I thought it was an interesting bit of writing.
This is okay.
Straczynski is a good comic book writer. I don't feel that Dial H for Hero is entirely...
Well,
to me, it would be kind of like suddenly going, hey, you know what would be a good villain for Superman? Are those guys that used to steal the fruit pies in the mid-'70s.
Well, did you look through this week's homework?
No. Fuck.
A whole brand new Brave and the Bold by Straczynski with another one-off, ancient-ass, nobody felt like using them for 3 decades person. Brother Power, the Geek.
That's not true. A guy, actually, I really like, and you have generally not liked, did a one-off of the Geek in the last 10 years. Mike Aldred.
Oh, okay.
From Mad Men, a book that you wanted to punch in the face several times.
I'm a very opinionated comic reader. I don't give a shit. I don't claim that I have any greater insights. I merely have my opinions.
I love Mad Men, but I did not pick up Brother Power the Geek because there's a limit to all things. And apparently Straczynski does not feel that way. Damn it. I'm 40 years old. I get homework.
Oh, and another team-up book, which I did not understand a single thing through the whole... There's Star Destroyers in my Superman Batman.
Yeah, let me see that again.
Why are there Star Destroyers in my Superman Batman? These ancient-ass Kryptonians, I was totally confused.
Here's my issue with this book.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to talk about this particular issue because I really didn't like it. Although the Batman Dong spaceship...
Yeah, I had no need for that.
for some people. I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah, the
individual
writers
book.
of slash fiction, that's who.
Aren't you one of them?
No. I don't write slash fiction. Get the fuck out of here with
Isn't
that.
your alter ego a...
That's not that kind of slash.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Tech Jedi's real name, which I will not reveal, just because he'd get mad.
If you were to Google me, you would get a BDSM author. And I'm not explaining that.
And let me tell you, kids, that has made my life so much more fulfilling. Just knowing that anytime I look for his name, I can laugh all day long. But Batman Superman has rapidly become, in no way, a fun book.
Not anymore. No.
It started off like a lighthearted, well, you know, let's face it, it was world's finest.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been getting a lot of the back issues. And to keep your homework down, I've been keeping them to myself.
Well, sure.
But
They were fun, weren't they?
anywhere up to 50, it was great.
And it, of late, you know, the living as a mite, finding religious frigging lint in the carpet,
Yeah, I had no need for that.
exchanging, you know, it's...
I mean, they are like banging right up the line of copyright infringement with these cruisers, man.
Yeah.
Those are acclimators from... Never mind. Anyway.
What the Sam fuck is an acclimator?
It's a class of warship in the Clone Wars.
Who are you?
I'm the Star Wars guy of all Star Wars guys. You know that.
The Tech Jedi.
Come on. If anybody was going to know the class of a Star Destroyer,
I didn't know they had class.
Of course they got classes. They're not necessarily classy.
Puns. No, well, but would you, and you will generally buy any Batman book, but if this doesn't improve, would you consider dropping Superman and Batman?
Yes. I would end up getting a complete run up until I gave up.
Well, just
I would definitely go for the back issues. The remaining back issues. Because I got a pretty fair chunk of them. Between 20 and 64.
Right.
So, yeah, but
If it doesn't,
I need it to be less and now there's the Blackest Night issue with Solomon Grundy and Bizarro.
really?
Yeah.
So this book is in continuity?
Well, it is now.
Because that
I never thought it was previously.
Because the talking lint thing pretty much kept me from believing that. Microscopic superheroes.
You know you're running out of ideas when you dip into there's a tiny universe inside the one we know routine.
No, you're not running out. Like, I always took this book as a tribute to the world's finest in like that period, like the more playful storylines. But to find out it's in continuity is kind of depressing.
A little bit, yeah.
All right.
So anyhow, the new Doctor Strange miniseries, which, again, much like Ultimate Spider-Man, is very manga. Very, very manga.
Yes. No, absolutely.
But I thought you'd dig it because it had a little baseball thing in it.
It was horrible.
I knew you'd say that.
Well, here's my thing with Doctor Strange, and this has been throughout the whole Avengers and whatnot. The whole concept is that Doctor Strange is no longer an acceptable doctor of the mystic arts.
Yeah.
Or master of the mystic arts.
Right.
He cannot be the sorcerer supreme. Why does everything have alliteration?
You got me. Why does every supporting character from Superman have 2 L's?
Lots of losers.
There you go.
But
Come on, demons possessing a baseball team?
I
thought you'd be down with that.
no, good lord, no. It reminded me of that old Tales from the Crypt or whatever, where the baseball team slaughtered the opposing team's player and turned him into all the base. It was just ridiculous.
What? Who? When?
There's a classic old Tales from the Crypt or one of those where there's a baseball game
Yeah.
and the opposing team's player is the meanest player in baseball. Think Ty Cobb, but bigger douche. And he...
you know you've lost me on that.
All right,
Wasn't there an award for Ty Cobb?
Ty Cobb is the only baseball player I can name who's murdered somebody. Used to sharpen his spikes to slide into people.
Great.
But the player runs into another player and kills him. And this guy was of course it's the subtlety of Tales of the Crypt, the most angelic player. So all the baseball players on his team get together and they murder the other player.
No.
And then they play baseball with his body, turning his parts into the bases.
Great.
Throwing his head, marking lines with his intestines, that kind of thing.
So you don't want me to get number 2?
I'm totally curious now. But here's my problem. No, this is legitimate. Doctor Strange is no longer a fitting Sorcerer Supreme.
Right.
Which means that we now have to have him hunting for his replacement for like the 14th time.
No, it's done. Remember in Avengers, it's Brother Voodoo.
Okay, that's going to last for like a minute and a half because no one, and let me stress this, no one wants to read about Brother Voodoo.
I didn't pick it up, I'll tell you that.
Because my point, the whole point of Doctor Strange, Master of the Mystic Arts, Sorcerer Supreme, if you want to change its style, fine, it's worked in Green Lantern, but you bring him back and you bring him back and you bring him back. Why not just say, okay, let's make this guy interesting without taking his powers away every 4 minutes?
Yeah. I can see that.
When's the last time he was pertinent?
Gene Colan?
That's sad.
Because I've tried to read some of the 90s stuff you gave me, and I just can't do it.
It did do well at the time, though. There was some, it also had Morbius, though, so it's a given you would hate it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Mephisto, the Goblinita of her time, Mephisto's daughter.
All right, I'm not talking about that anymore. Totally not. I can't. So Batgirl.
Oh, yeah, because there's a jump.
No, I mean, it's promise. It's got promise. The art's good. It's the expressions on the faces are not Connor-esque, but you can tell what's going on.
Here's my thing with Batgirl, and I think it's a fun book. If I had a younger female relative who liked comics, I would recommend it to her. Or if I had a younger boy relative who was open, I would recommend it. No, because I think it's a fun book. It definitely feels like a kid's book. It has some darker undertones, though, so I'd be careful with that.
Yeah.
But my major thing with this book is that the main reason I like it is because of how little I like Batwoman.
Really?
Cannot stand Batwoman. Because Batgirl has a light, playful feel. Feels like the mid-'60s. It has Barbara Gordon as a mentor type. So you have the Oracle connection.
Right. And I think that's something that she was going to need eventually without the Birds of Prey running around.
Now, you have several times regretted not reading Birds of Prey.
I've been told dozens of times that it was an awesome, awesome book.
Have you ever looked into it?
Not really. There's just... it's so hard to put aside what you've already established is great and then trust other people's judgment about how to spend your money.
Fair enough. Because I know that you've more than once wished you had read it or expressed interest in reading it.
If it kept on going now and somebody told me, look, this issue just came out, it's a new story, just jump in, I would give it another go. $4 I can't lose my mind over.
I actually owned one. The original Oracle Black Canary, because of the Gary Frank art.
I forgot about this scene. I don't need Indy losing his shit over another fucking snake in quicksand in the Peruvian jungle.
Hey,
With mutt.
Not a big mutt fan.
No. Anyway. But they did it again. They gave her a utility belt, which is fine.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. But suddenly, pouches on the leg, out of absolutely nowhere.
The leg pouch is like the Batarang of the 90s. Dude, think Liefeld. Those dudes had more pouches.
What were in those goddamn pouches?
Well, based on Liefeld, bullets and steroids.
All right, I can see that. Bullets and steroids.
You would totally buy that book, too.
a book actually called Bullets and Steroids? Just maybe. I might get the number one to check it out. Right, I like what Levins and Garbett are doing with the art.
I think it's a fun book.
I'm
not a huge fan of it, but I do think
I'm kind of concerned,
fun.
however, that they needed 3 inkers.
Maybe somebody canceled last minute.
Well, God forbid something happened to somebody's family and they had to quit the book for that month or something like that, or they got in a car accident, or
Or maybe they just overextended themselves.
smoked too much heroin. I don't know, but
Can you smoke heroin?
yeah, you can smoke heroin. It ain't easy.
Well, the sum total of my knowledge on heroin is fairly minimal. It turns out, I saw Train Spotting. That's where I live.
But
And I read Junkie. Sorry.
Ooh. But no, so far I see this as being a very promising book.
Yeah, but don't you feel?
I want the promise to pay off sooner than maybe DC wants it to pay off.
Don't you feel it's more based on promise for your nephews and you, though?
That's a really good question that I haven't brought to the fore of my mind. Purple Batgirl, though. Purple? We were talking about this with Victor just the other day. The purpleness of so many characters. What the fuck? Why purple? Really?
This is distinctive and less common in day to day.
Okay, I guess.
Black and navy. Most of the dudes I know live in. You wholeheartedly included. Red is overdone, and think of it this way: if you wanted to create a new comic book character, and you want it to be iconic, because everybody's hoping to create Spider-Man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting there going, I hope I make Terror Incorporated. No, the guy that created Sleepwalker was thinking, this is the big hero. Not, this is the dollar bin gem.
Alright. It's midnight. We're at an hour. I'm going to let you finish it. I'm going to let you finish. But then we're going to go to our last two, because I have a big day tomorrow.
Yes, you do. The Tech Jedi's getting an award for being the geek of all geeks. I'm not kidding, kids. I can't go into details because it involves his personal life, but he's getting an award for being king of geeks. It's ridiculous. All right, what do you got? What did you decide the final two were?
I'm so fucking good. We'll start you, and we're going to have a piece de résistance as dessert. So we're going to start with the aperitif of Spider-Woman.
I'm going to make you start with Spider-Woman.
Why do I got to start with Spider-Woman?
Man,
you're much funnier than I am.
Well, that's why I'm on the damn thing.
Yeah. Come on. All right.
Did you like it?
I was largely bored with it.
Now, this is Bendis.
Yes, it is.
And I believe Alex Maleev.
Yep.
Who did Daredevil not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a solid writer and a solid artist. And it's a starter book.
I can't deal with the angst and
you
the
are
talkie.
Not a huge Bendis fan. You certainly don't dislike him, but his style of writing does not create...
No, there are elements of it at points that I don't dig. But
I'd almost put it the other way.
Just
I think
jump
there
me
are
into...
elements
Within the first 5
dig.
pages, she wants to kill herself.
So it feels like Alias all over again.
There's a point, isn't it?
I think there are things in Bendis' writing you do like and you don't enjoy it overall, as opposed to there are things that you don't like and you enjoy it overall. That's where I think the difference lies.
Fine line.
Yeah, but huge in a sense, you know what I mean? Like there are things I like in Claremont, but overall I'm not happy. In Claremont, there are things you don't like. But on the larger part, overall, you've been happy. And therein lies a difference. And, hey, I love the X-Men in the 80s. And, hey, speaking of spandex...
But I did get 2 and 3.
No, I've not read 2. I have to believe you just brought me 3.
Yeah.
Nice of you. Skip one.
I did.
Rat bastard.
Hey, you're the one that can't keep your schedule straight. I would have this shit here religiously for you every fucking Monday. If you were here every fucking Monday.
Well, I'm working on it.
At any rate, so she goes to Madripoor to hunt down...
Oh, horrible. Dude, really? Madripoor?
Yeah. Leave Madripoor alone. Nobody cares about Singapore.
Can we get Archie Goodwin again? Or, no, well, no, what was the name of the pilot?
In
Wolverine, the black dude, Archie...
Oh. Good God. That shit was in the Marvel Comics Presents in the early first volume of Wolverine. That was a long time ago. I don't remember that shit.
And then you had Bloodsport and Rough House.
Ugh.
Rough House is no more. Bloodsport actually made an appearance in Avengers.
I don't need to be reminded of that shit, man.
Didn't the Hood point out, like, aren't you like half a douchebag? Shut up and take the money.
But I'm also done with Skrulls, so I don't need to be her to be on an angst-ridden revenge trip against Skrulls for 30 issues.
Hey, well, she was a Skrull prisoner. All right, when the Jeeves one-shot comes out.
Jeeves? Jeeves?
He's a butler. Look it up.
Wodehouse? I know, but I don't see the...
Think about the Avengers.
Jarvis.
There you go.
Okay.
It's a Jeeves reference.
Yeah,
Jarvis, Jeeves,
I get
Jarvis. There you go. But when the one shot of him talking about his Skrull experience comes out, you'll buy it.
6 issues, if she comes out on top and straightens out her brain and just goes into solid adventuring, I'll keep going.
It's not going to be solid. It's going to be angst-ridden because it's Bendis writing woman. It is kind of what he does.
Oh,
it's
we can't
Alias
stereotype
2. And you
the
enjoyed
guy.
the first graphic of Alias.
Yeah.
You didn't love it because it involved a fake Rick Jones.
I'm not so sure you were hot on the fake Rick Jones either.
I thought it was an intriguing read. I'm more curious where it went with the second, which I never got around to buying. So when I say more curious, kids, just remember, I'm curious about lots of shit. And, I try to go with the shit that don't cost money first. Because I'm Irish and my beer budget is fucking enormous.
That's not actually funny, kids. I'm looking at like 4 different 12-packs right now.
Oh. Alright, and you said...
And not all of them are new.
There's a piece de resistance.
I gotta tell you, every time I try to branch out...
You are the worst brancher outer ever.
I am. I tried it. I was like, alright, I never saw that book before. It doesn't look bad. I can't spend it. This ain't a library, so I gotta flip a coin. Do I read it and get yelled at here, or do I give him my money, take it home?
Kurt's pretty good about letting you flip through.
For the most part. But yeah, he's never actually said anything in front of anybody that I've ever heard. But
it is
you want to be courteous. You want to be a good customer.
Well, you open it up to make sure that the art is decent and you're not, grabbing some sort of BDSM.
And largely, I was quite happy with the art. It seems solid. No, sure. There's nothing wrong with it.
This book is what suck butt
what
on print.
What suck butt looks like on print. Wow. I don't really follow how a god loses their memory. Did she take a swim in the Lethe or the Lethe? Actually,
Dude, comic book writing and gods is the most random and ridiculous thing known to man. Case in point, Thor. He's been a frog. If you can be a frog, you can lose your memory. So, the book, by the way, kids, that we're talking about is Athena.
From Dynamite. By Doug Murray, whom I've enjoyed in the past. He did a bunch of Nom,
right?
Yeah.
I know these things.
Fabiano Neves is not bad. The palette on it is, at points, rather one note, though.
Tech Jedi is scrambling here, kids, because he's actually nicer than he seems. Whereas I will happily point out, this book is fucking dookie. And not just dookie. Like, this is the kind of dookie that crawls down your leg when something really scares you and you're talking to a hot girl so that you're embarrassed and ruined for the rest of your life. That's how bad this is.
No, this 2-page right here, where they're going through, the Titans and Zeus and eating the kids, that looks fine to me. I don't know.
Oh, the all brown.
That's where the palette comes in that I was talking about.
It's the past, therefore it's brown. Yeah,
well,
come on.
It's got to be sepia, and then the rest of it happens at night, so it's all dark and muddy. And then you get one whole page where there's actually light. Two whole pages where there's actually light, and then you're in a red club. So there's just too many jangly types of
coloring is the least of this book's problems.
Yeah.
It is horribly written.
I don't care if you are a god. You're not going in the battle with some greaves, a bikini with a lion's head, and that's not battle wear. That's why one of the reasons I don't read Red Sonja.
Alright, so for the record, I already used the sucks like a airplane toilet, right?
Yes.
Fine, so this book sucks like a whirlpool bath on the edge of humanity.
That is terrible.
It is well drawn, horribly written, and pointless on every level.
Alright, so we got an even dozen Batman books to catch next time.
Dear Lord. Alright, so next time, kids, look forward to a huge Batman where we get to hear about Grant Morrison's insanely complicated plot lines that no one likes. And Frank Whiteley's amazingly creepy anything.
No, it's Philip Tan now.
Philip Tan took over?
Yeah.
Well, then I miss Frank
3
Whiteley.
whole issues
Philip Tan
Whiteley
is
got
creepy.
out. I think he's still doing the covers, though.
I like Frank Whiteley, actually. I enjoyed him all the way back to the Missionary Man.
But I had to explain to 4 people what the cover of Batman and Robin 6 harkens back to. And I have to explain it to you as well. As a matter of fact, you're not far off. It's just like the cover of the album Purple Rain. Good night, kids.
Dude, you suck.
What? Because I knew Purple Rain and you didn't?
I'm ecstatic that I didn't know Purple Rain.
Yeah, well, we'll see you later.
I just set up yours, baby.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Alley, Facebook, Comic Space, our own site, www.themeangeek.com. Subscribe to us through RSS, and most importantly, find us as a proud member on the Comics Podcast Network. Contact us directly through email at themeanergeek@gmail.com.